Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is Garcelle Beauvais, snatching every single one of Dorit's edges and leaving no crumbs when she sides with Jeff Lewis on calling her a super bitch. So before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It is a fun and easy way to support me and the show, and I would really, really appreciate it. So with that, let's dive right on in. And don't forget, I do have a video clip of what went down on Jeff Lewis between Jeff Lewis and Garcelle regarding Dorit. So stick around to watch the video. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Garcelle Beauvais said yes when asked if Dorit Kemsley was a super bitch on the upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which, according to her producer, just wrapped. So this was back a couple of months ago, around September. Garcelle also revealed that she spent $6,000 on a dating app with high-end men. Before season 14 started filming, Dorit shared that she and her husband PK Kemsley had separated. In the prior season, Dorit addressed their marital difficulties, but many fans claimed she wasn't forthright. Now, this has also been a point of contention and confusion, and Jeff Lewis has also weighed in on this. What is the real reason why PK and Dorit are allegedly separating and getting divorced? Is it his alcoholism, or is that a convenient excuse? Is it the fraud allegations, the bankruptcies, the foreclosure on their home, the gambling debts? What infidelity does that play a role? He's been living in London, he's been living in a hotel. What is really going on? Is it like Jeff Lewis said PK was saying behind the scenes that it's because, the show went to Dorit's head. She is prioritizing the show and fame over being a wife and a mom, and he's pretty much over it. Who knows what the deal is with that? So there's a lot of questions going on there. On Sirius XM Jeff Lewis Live, Garcelle said it'd be nice to see the real Dorit. So Jeff then asked if she thinks Dorit is kind of putting it on. Like, is she being extra for the cameras? Is she doing too much because she wants to stay relevant? Is she doing too much because she wants to keep her diamond? As we know, there was the, rumor going around that production said, hey, Dorit, if you don't step it up this season, you're going to be cut. You're going to be a friend of, or you're just going to be, put on pause on the show. And so that is kind of why Dorit is coming in strong and swinging. She's definitely going against Kyle. She's going against Garcelle. She's going against everybody. She really has no allies other than Bozema, who I want to like Bozema, but she's a little too pick-me when it comes to Dorit. I think, and I hope that she sort of stands at her own 2 feet and she gets to create her own relationships with the other women outside of viewing them through the lens of Dorit. So we'll see what happens with that, because I do like Bozema herself. I just want to make sure she's just not aligning with Dorit too quickly and then sort of missing out on other friendships she could have on the show. But other than that, who does Dorit really have on the show? Even Garcelle said that when she was asked, is it surprising that Dorit went and asked, and told Erica, who said on BravoCon that her and PK would be the next to divorce, is it weird that that's not who she's confiding in about separating? And Erica and Garcelle was like, no, because like she doesn't have anybody left. Dorit and Sutton do not get along. Dorit and Kyle are beefing. Dorit and Garcelle have never gotten along. Who else is there? So I guess she had to sort of, cling to Erica and then have Bozema cling to her. So there's that. Okay. Yeah, I do. I mean, I've said it before, she answered. This season, I'm not allowed to say a lot, but she's on fire, and I think that's because a lot of things are going on with her. When asked if she's on fire in a good or bad way, Garcelle hinted it depends on where you start. Jeff then wondered if Dorit was being a super bitch. Yes, agree, Garcelle responded. She's definitely activated, and you know where it's coming from. There's a lot going on, but everybody has stuff going on, right? So are we going to excuse that? So I think when Garcelle said that, and I have the clip and we'll watch it. So I think when Garcelle said that, Dorit was on fire, I think she meant she's a dumpster fire, not that, oh girl, you're hot, you're on fire, right? And so when Jeff asked the question to clarify, well, is that good or bad? She was like, well, it depends on where you start, which is true. If you like Dorit, then you're just going to continue to like her. But if you don't like Dorit, I think that you are going to see the real Dorit, which I think is kind of super bitchy and mean and not a nice person and is very rude. I think that's the real her coming through. But because she's beefing with Kyle, and I think people dislike Kyle so much, and they all have their reasons for vile Kyle, goodbye Kyle, for everything Kyle has done to LVP, to Yolanda, to her sister Kim. You know, the list goes on and on. You know, not being forthright about her own marriage, her own relationships, wanting to stir the pot, but not being authentic and transparent about her own life. You know, things she has done to people in the past. We get it. We know that there is a huge backlash when it comes to Kyle. So I think that when it comes to Dorit versus Kyle, people are going to excuse Dorit's behavior because they dislike Kyle so much. Where I think Garcelle is coming from is saying, hey, we all have a lot going on. It doesn't give anybody a pass to be so nasty and so rude, you know, and so bitchy. You know, it doesn't give anybody a pass to be that way. Just because you have stuff going on doesn't mean you're allowed to treat people and talk to people any way you want to. So I think that's kind of what's going on here. And I agree with Garcelle. I think that Dorit is putting it on. I think she wants to keep that diamond, keep that paycheck, keep that 15 minutes of fame. And I think now we're seeing the real Dorit, who is activated, who is a dumpster fire, and who is really mean and nasty. But at the same time, people are going to want their pound of flesh when it comes to Kyle. You know, so there's a lot of different dynamics going on and a lot of different things being convoluted and being conflated into one issue when there's actually multiple issues going on here. Okay. So let's see what else is going on. So she definitely is activated. Okay, Garcelle later claims she spent $6,000 on a dating app with top guys like CEOs, which Bethany Frankel recommended. Bethany Frankel, she's also a dumpster fire. Don't take any advice from Bethany Frankel. She is the most thirstiest person in the world. And it's really sad because I used to really like Bethany. I don't know what happened to her, but she's just a hot dumpster fire mess at this point. I don't know what is going on with her. Don't take any advice from Bethany Frankel. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're happy. Just because you have money doesn't mean you are sane. There's a lot going on with Bethany. She needs to get some help and calm down and sit down. Okay. Anyway, so there's that. Yikes. I don't know if I don't know if that's the right route. She says, I want to say it's called The League. I go on it and I'm looking and you have to pay. And I'm like, I don't want to pay to meet a guy. I mean, it seems a little weird, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it, she said. It was like $3.99 a week. These are high-end guys, so you got to pay for it. So I go on it and I look and I'm like, it's not really my type of thing. So I get off of it. Look, I don't think you need to be spending $400 a week on a dating app. Try the free options. Garcelle, you're gorgeous. If I was Garcelle, what I would do is I would just ask friends, be like, hey, you know what? I'm in a really good place right now. I'm ready to find the next love of my life. Would you set me up? I think reaching out, just like if you're looking for a job, you know, or a new house, or you're looking for anything, you reach out to your network. So I think if Garcelle would just let people set her up in her network of people and expand, I think she'd find a really great guy. Don't waste your money on these apps. And no, girl. Okay. So there is that. All right, now let's watch the video of her talking about it so you can hear what she said and what Jeff Lewis said from the horse's mouth.
It'd be nice to see the real Dorit, right?
Yeah.
So you do think that she's kind of putting it on?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
I've
said it before.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
How does she do this season, season 14?
This season, I'm not allowed to say a lot, but she is on fire. And I think that's because a lot of things are going on with her.
In a good way or a bad way? Are we gonna like her more, or are we gonna dislike her more?
Well, it depends on where you start.
Okay.
Right?
Because I guess the way that I was interpreting it,
yeah,
when you're talking a little about the season, and there's obviously things I cannot say, but my interpretation was that she was like super bitch this season. Okay, so you're nodding yes.
I mean, I like that she's activated. Things are going on in her life, and she's not cowering.
Yes, agree. She's definitely activated, and you know where it's coming from. There's a lot going on.
Lots going on.
Yeah, there's lots going on.
Okay.
But everybody has stuff going on, right? So are we going to excuse that?
Yeah, so by activated and fire, she means a dumpster fire, and activated means she's super bitchy this season. And like Jeff said, I think this is the real Dorit we're seeing, you know? And I think that if Dorit was acting this way against anybody other than Kyle, I think the audience would receive it very differently. But because it's against Kyle and people want their pound of flesh with her, they're going to love it. So I think there's going to be two different reactions. I think the audience is going to be Team Dorit versus Kyle, and I think the girls, the cast, are going to be Team Kyle versus Dorit. So we'll see how that all plays out. So as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and let me know your thoughts. Are you Team Garcelle, Team Dorit, Team Jeff? What are your thoughts? Team Kyle? I don't know. So put it down below, and as always, I'll talk to you next time. Bye!